In aviation, the word airworthy gets used constantly. We hear about airworthiness certificates, airworthiness inspections, continued airworthiness, and whether an aircraft itself is airworthy. But despite hearing the word all the time, many pilots never really stop and think about what it actually means. And that matters, because airworthiness is not just about whether an aircraft flies. Two aircraft can look nearly identical on the ramp. Both may have flown yesterday. Both may even have valid paperwork, but one may be airworthy and the other one may not. Today I want to talk about what the word airworthy really means, how the term is used in different contexts, and why it matters in powered parachutes, and why good pilots learn to think about airworthiness as an ongoing condition, not just a piece of paperwork. My name is Roy Beisswenger. I've been training powered parachute pilots since 1993. And over the years, I've noticed that aviation has a lot of words that people become familiar with, without always fully discussing the deeper meaning behind them. Airworthy is one of those words, because airworthiness is not a feeling, it is not optimism, and it is definitely not, well, it flew fine the last time. Airworthiness is a condition, and understanding that condition changes the way we think about maintenance, pre-flights, ownership, and pilot responsibility. When pilots talk about airworthiness, they are usually talking about two broad ideas. First, does the aircraft conform to its approved or intended configuration? And second, is it in a condition for safe operation? Now, depending upon the type of aircraft, those ideas could look a little different. In standard category certified aircraft, there are type certificates, approved equipment, airworthiness directives, required inspections, and very structured maintenance requirements. But in the experimental world, especially with powered parachutes, owners are often much more directly involved in maintenance inspections and modifications. And that makes understanding airworthiness especially important, because responsibility becomes much more personal. Another thing that sometimes causes confusion is that aviation and the FAA itself use the word airworthy in several related contexts. We talk about airworthiness certificates, airworthiness inspections, continued airworthiness, and the aircraft itself being airworthy. Those are connected ideas, but they are not identical ideas. For example, an airworthiness certificate is a document issued for the aircraft. But when a pilot asks, "Is this aircraft airworthy?" they're usually talking about the actual condition of the aircraft right now. That distinction matters, because an aircraft can still possess an airworthiness certificate, yet not be currently in an airworthy condition because of maintenance issues, damage, expired inspections, improper repairs, or unsafe operating condition. So the certificate is part of the overall system, but it is not the same as the aircraft's current condition. One of the most dangerous mindsets in aviation is, "It flew yesterday," because aircraft problems rarely appear all at once. Airworthiness usually degrades gradually. Fuel lines start getting a little stiff, an exhaust develops a crack, a steering line begins fraying, a propeller bolt loosens slightly, tire pressure gets ignored. A temporary repair quietly becomes permanent. And human beings are very good at normalizing problems, especially when the aircraft continues to operate. That is one reason good pre-flight inspections matter so much. The purpose of a pre-flight is not simply to check boxes. It is to interrupt complacency. Now, it is also important to understand that airworthiness does not mean perfect. Aircraft are machines. Machines wear. Cosmetic flaws exist. Minor imperfections exist. But there is a difference between used and unsafe. And good pilots learn how to recognize that difference honestly. Not emotionally, not financially, honestly. Because owners naturally want their aircraft to be airworthy. Sometimes enough that they begin explaining problems away. "It's always done that." Or, "That crack hasn't changed." "The radio has never worked properly. It's probably fine." Those are dangerous phrases in aviation. People also sometimes use the words safe and airworthy interchangeably. And while they overlap heavily, they are not always identical. An aircraft may technically satisfy paperwork and inspection requirements, yet still have operational safety concerns. And on the other hand, an aircraft may fly beautifully, yet still not legally be airworthy because of expired inspections, missing documentation, improper modifications, or non-compliance with operating limitations. This is especially important in experimental aviation because aircraft often evolve over time. Owners upgrade things, modify things, repair things, adapt things, sometimes carefully and intelligently, sometimes less carefully. And every change has the potential to affect airworthiness. Powered parachutes also have unique airworthiness considerations. People often focus heavily on the cart and engine, but the parachute itself is part of the aircraft. Fabric condition matters, line condition matters, UV exposure matters, storage conditions matter, moisture matters. A wing can appear acceptable from a distance and still have significant deterioration. Then there are operational issues. Improper pitch on the propeller, fuel system routing problems, cooling issues, deteriorating bearing mounts, improper weight and balance, overloaded operation, low tire pressures affecting takeoff. Sometimes pilots unintentionally create unsafe conditions simply because they do not fully understand the systems they are working on. And that is one reason why education matters so much. One thing I tell pilots frequently is this: owning an aircraft means owning responsibility. Not just ownership, responsibility. And in experimental aviation, that responsibility becomes very personal. You may legally be allowed to perform maintenance, but legality and competence are not automatically the same thing. Good pilots continue learning. They ask questions. They inspect carefully. They avoid complacency. And they remain willing to ground an aircraft when something does not seem right. Because aviation does not forgive carelessness very often. The pre-flight inspection is really about mindset. You are deliberately slowing yourself down and questioning assumptions. Not, do I want to fly today, but is this aircraft truly ready to operate safely today? Those are very different questions. And sometimes the safest aviation decision is disappointing yourself. Airworthiness is not about perfection. It is about discipline, attention to detail, honesty, responsibility, and the willingness to recognize problems before they become accidents. Because aviation remains safe when pilots refuse to normalize unsafe conditions. And honestly, that mindset matters far more than people realize. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. And if you're interested in learning to fly powered parachutes, please visit easyflight.com. Thanks so much for watching, and blue skies.